Kevin's a great guy. We all know that. He's
Absolutely.
a lovely fella. Got nothing against him. But in my opinion, as a professional, he's struggling to do his job at Leeds. The results have backed that up. They've recruited better. Will results improve? They may well do. But he's struggling there, and he's struggling, in my opinion, with his role for Great Britain or England. Now, at what point? Why has he got 2 jobs? Why is he not just concentrating on one?
The first thing I would say, well, there's 2 things. One is, what is his job description? Have you ever seen written down what the director of rugby does for the RFL? But the other thing is, how can that be a part-time job?
Well,
you know, when he was appointed,
what's he doing for Leeds for the last month?
But it was 1 day a week.
Yeah.
How can you be the director of rugby of the game of rugby league?
Yeah, for 1 day.
Whoever you are, whether you're Kevin Sinfield or
even if they've got Clive Woodward in or whatever,
on 1 day a week.
Yeah, exactly.
What does the game actually want?
I agree. So why has he got it? And I know he's got a degree. He's a very astute and clever guy when I've spoken to him. But there's a million other kids out there who've got degrees, but they're not in charge. What's the job?
What is the job description?
I don't get it.
What are we measuring him against?
And I think this is what Gary's got on his list. You look at them people. What do they actually do? Does Paul Anderson get any input to Wayne Bennett on who's in that England team or Great Britain team? No.
Is that the fault of Wayne Bennett, Paul Anderson, or the system that's employed?
No, it's the fault of the people that appointed him.
Yes.
They've brought him in. He's the Messiah. Let him do whatever he wants. Let him do whatever he wants. Right. Well, what he's doing, he's nothing right now.
But
and he needs to go.
The structure mitigates that against anybody else having any influence. That's the thing. Do you think if somebody else was in Wayne Bennett's role, they would take more notice?
Well, I would hope that whoever's in charge, and let's use the football. I know football's different money-wise and that. Gareth Southgate's in charge of England, right? I'm picking. He's got input and goes to watch all the players that are in the under-21s. And he'll be saying to his under-21 manager, have a look at him, because I think he's got, we want to bring in people like him in. And they'll be coached the same way, so that when under-21 manager goes, oh, here's your man, Gareth, he goes, oh, great.
But the under-21 manager, that's his full-time position.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
And the thing with Paul Anderson is he's coaching Warrington's academy as well, isn't it?
There's a flow down.
Yeah.
They'll know.
Who's the 21 manager, do you know?
Aidy Boothroyd.
Yeah, yes, but my point is, Gareth Southgate will know a kid's playing England under-16, and he'll be going, he's 1 minute to look at.
But what I'm saying
there'll be chats with his club. How's this going? How's that going? How, do you need any help? But if that doesn't happen at rugby. Wayne Bennett, right? I bet you, if you wrote a list down of Wayne Bennett and said, name me all the clubs in the championship, he'd go,
hey, last year, Tommy Makerson, when he made that brilliant hat-trick was at Hull.
Where's he been?
Wayne Bennett, where's Tommy Makerson been? Oh, he's been playing Super League for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, those positions, if we're serious,
jobs for the boys.
They need to be full time.
It's jobs for the boys.
Have to be full.
Jobs for the boys.
We are cost cutting
jobs for the boys
the time.
Jobs for the boys.
Well, we're cost cutting.
Jamie Peacock failed. Whether people like it or not, he failed at Hull KR. He got them relegated. Right? What? How the hell? What is his credentials? Great player, great international. So Gary Schofield. Why is he not in charge? Yeah, so another 100 people. Why him?
But
is it because he's Kevin's mate?
The position.
Serious question. Is that why he's there?
The position needs to be full time. Director of rugby has to be full time. England Knights coach needs to be full time, because when he's not coaching,
but to be full time, they need to play more games.
Well, that's the thing. The two go together, don't they?
Yeah.
And that's. Yeah, what do you want the sport to look like?
Are Super League bothered?
No.
And
that's part
there is the big problem.
Well, I go back to the fact that the 21st of June, suddenly now the RFL want a mid-season game. How are they going to have one? Because Super League don't... that's the weekend that Bradford now are playing a double header at Headingley. So it's like things are going on.
Are Bradford Bulls like the Harlem Globetrotters? They just play wherever anyone's got any money, they'll just turn up and play?
Hirers.
Is that right? We'll have a chat about that.
But I'm just convinced that, yes, you need to make it, and I think the next debate is, if you don't have Wayne Bennett, who do you have? But we cannot take we have a debate that we've been doing this now for 5 or 6 years. We've come to the end of every season, and at the end of every season we always say we play too many games, we don't know when the next internationals are,
The disappointment here is not that they're tired, Phil.
We do,
It's,
though.
we do.
And
But that
those
is the
issues,
excuse.
that's not the
excuse.
Those issues haven't changed. Nobody's addressed them.
Phil, I've got the remit here. Squad selection before. 6 halfbacks. 6 halfbacks. 2 wingers and 2 centres. Cobblers. Team selection, a joke. Players picked out position, a joke. Style of play, boring, clueless. Respects the Lions' experience, run from there and have underperformed. Phil, that's got nothing to do with fatigue.
What about the
whatsoever.
Ash Hanley thing then? He gets called in from Leeds, so he's taken away from Leeds for 2 weeks.
From holidays, he was on holiday in France.
Was he on holiday?
Well, no,
Right.
first he goes to Australia to play in the Nines. Then he comes back.
Yeah.
Then he goes on holiday.
So all right. So he's on holiday and he's called away. He goes back, and then Kevin says, "Well, what just because he's flown halfway around the world doesn't mean he gets picked."
Yeah,
Well,
we're not giving.
take him then.
We're not giving jerseys
Don't
out.
take
Like
him. No, well you are, because you're playing people in the wrong position just to put them in your team.
Makes-
And I just think that then says to me, surely he has a conversation with Wayne Bennett. Says, is he going to play? Because really, I don't think he's saying he's an interest to come if he ain't going to play. And they saw, well, he part of England because he's England. Well, that's not to do with it.
But you see, also, again, what was laughable for me, and again, when I'm talking about disrespect to Danny Ward and Ian Watson, when I see Danny Ward walking onto the pitch carrying the water bottles, and then I see Ian Watson as a messenger boy, and then when the cameras go to Wayne Bennett, sat as miserable as hell as he does anyway, it doesn't matter if they're winning, losing, or drawing, or even playing good, bad, and indifferent. And then he's got his own crony at the side of him.
Yeah.
His own crew.
Yes. Who will have more input than those two lads.
His stats go.
I don't know who he is, but whoever next to him, then I'm thinking, hold on here. Hold on. And this is what I'm saying here now, because if this is me on this panel here, on this RFL panel, if I'm on here now, if I'm on this panel with Peacock, Sinfield, Schoolthorpe, Anderson and Williams, I'm saying, right, let's get this sorted out here. Let's get this sorted out, because we need some respect. We need some respect from whatever he's achieved and whatever, but let's tell him what we've achieved. Let's tell him about what we saw, what sort of vision we are looking for our national team from there. But nobody's challenging him from there.
Great Britain cannot be England, and that's the first mistake they made.
Yeah, I agree with that. But whether it's England or Great Britain, the point stands. What do those guys? What input do they have in
those
anything?
guys should have had input either on England or Great Britain.
Well,
but
there you go then. So if Kevin's in charge of that, he is the overall manager of it, isn't he? So we're all clamouring for Wayne Bennett to get the sack. Should Kevin Sinfield be removed from his position?
Well,
or said to him, right, Kevin, why don't you do the job, mate? But you're going to have to jack in at Leeds. What do you want to do? Do you want to be at Leeds or do you want to be here?
The first thing is that's a full-time position.
Well, he's doing it one day a week.
That's the fault of the RFL.
I can tell you one thing for sure here now as well. At this moment in time, in Great Britain, if that were Darryl Powell in charge, if Sean Wayne was still here, if it was Sean Wayne, if it was Brian McDermott, if it was Lee Radford, if it was Richie Agar, if it was Chris Chester, after that 4-0 defeat, the way they played and everything that's gone on from there, they would have been sacked immediately.
Yeah,
they would be sacked immediately. So why are we dithering? Why are we dithering about the Wayne Bennett scenario?
Because
do you know what people said to me? We ain't got enough time. I ain't got enough time. It's either Darryl Powell or Sean Wayne for me, but also as well they have to stay. Danny Ward and Ian Watson have to stay, because I think they can offer plenty to players from a point of view. When I talk about playing with vision and awareness and playing with that expression and playing with that smile on the face, that's what I want to see with our top players. So them two have to stay part of the coaching staff, and they would love to work with our Darryl Powell or Sean Wayne for mine. But if it was an English guy who was in charge, I tell you what. When do they get back? Is it today or tomorrow they get back or whatever? And I would imagine they would be an announcement within 48 hours that the coach will be replaced. We've only 2 years before the World Cup. Easily enough time for Sean Wayne or Darryl Powell to get embedded in there and working with them.
They've got a maximum of 5 games. The likelihood is they'll have 4. 3 of them against Australia.
Also, is that an Ashes test?
Yeah. Well, that's what they'll have before.
When has it ever been England and Australia Ashes then? I thought it was always Great Britain.
No, it's England.
No, I know, but I thought it was always Great Britain and Australia.
It's England since it's been Sport England have been funding it.
Yeah, but the Ashes have always been Great Britain, haven't they?
Well, in cricket, it's England.
The problem Rugby League has had is an identity. It started off as being the Northern Union, then it was England, which had Welsh players playing for it. Gus Risman played for England. And then we had Great Britain after the Second World War. Now we've gone back to England when it suits us. We brought back Great Britain. All of that needs addressing. What do we want out of the national team and the Great Britain team. Because at the moment we are well and truly falling between two stools.
And also as well, the players who I looked at who was playing, well, for me, 3 players would be retired. I would, if I was part of this selection committee, I would be saying to Graham, Widdop and Burgess, thanks lads, just a bit of advice here, and announcing international retirement, because if not, then I'm retiring you myself, it's just a bit.
Even James Graham.
Yeah. James Graham has gone as an international. I'll tell you what, I'm moving the show as well, Widdop. Warrington must be thinking, boy oh boy. So let me tell you this, the way I've seen him play, and I'm 54 years of age, I've got a quicker brain than what he's got. His kicking game is absolutely atrocious. And Tom Burgess, it's coming back over here and whatever, but for me, they should be retired from there. And I've just thought out, and I'm just thinking here, of an England side or a Great Britain side I would pick. If this was me now, and I say I'm hoping that the players were fit, and look at this would be my Great Britain side. If they start the season and they all stay fit. Hardacre at fullback, Makinson and Manfredi on the wings, Percival and Gildat. People say, no, we miss Mark Percival. Miss Mark Percival. Wayne Bennett never picks him. He picks Sean Bateman in the centre. Half-backs. It's either Lomax or Williams. I don't think you can split them. And if Luke Gale comes back, then it's Luke Gale. Then it's Walmsley, Clark, Thompson, Bateman, Whitehead and Morgan Knowles that moves forward. Well, I'll tell you what.
Would have gone. Knowles would have gone if he hadn't been injured.
Well, let me tell you this. If everybody had been all right from there, do you know what? That is a 4-0 victory for Great Britain. That is a 4-0 victory for Great Britain, right? If it was Darryl Powell, Sean Wayne in charge, or even me on the selection committee. Because for me working with them, and with the show, I would be touching the players on the backside in training, all this sort of thing. Say, listen, just keep smiling, enjoying this. I tell you what, how good are you? What do you think the Tongan coach did to Lola here? Lola here looked like a Wally Lewis. I thought to myself, what's going on here? Is this the same person? Because that's a coach who's got on and said, listen, just go out there and play.
His domestic coach got his team to a grand final. So he was absolutely brimming with confidence.
What about his national coach? About his national coach, Phil,
But he went into it in the right frame of mind, because his domestic coach, who was on the Great Britain coaching staff, had got the best out of him.
Do you know what as well? And I'm as upset as anybody here. So I was up in Cumbria on Saturday night, and the amount of people from there, and I was at Brighouse yesterday, and the amount of people what said. And do you know what, on Saturday, and I did an interview who worked for Talk Sports on Saturday morning, right? And it was Jordy Thompson and Perry Groves, and I said, oh well, Papua New Guinea, what do you reckon score? So I said, well, won't be easy, but we should win. We should win on paper because of the quality of what we've got, but you can't rule it out. And do you know what? I said, obviously I want Great Britain to win. But you know what? The cynic in me and Perry Groves went, Scully, don't say it. I went, I'm going to say it. I said, I'm going to say it. I said, I want Great Britain to lose because I want to see him in the Wayne Bennett International Rugby League. I want to see him. He said, well, you tell it as it is, don't you? And how sad is that? I am so, not just, I'm upset, right? When I look at this governing body, when I look at these people here, when I look at Peacock, I look at Sinfield, I look at Schoolford, I look at Anderson, I look at Wellens and the other people from there, the pride what they put on the international jersey, the pride what they put on the Great Britain jersey. Now, and I see him, Mr. Miserable, getting away with what he's getting away with, literally taking the absolute mickey out of our game, and he's getting away with it. I just don't understand it. I do not understand it why this man is being allowed to ruin the players here.
That's the beef I have. We've mentioned the players.
I don't get it.
The former players.
I don't get it.
What do they do?
I just don't get it.
They're talking people for me because I
don't
don't
get it.
Enough say.
I don't, because nobody challenges him, and it's just so upsetting where we are just literally hanging on to every word this man says. And for me, when he says, I'm using this Great Britain tour as an experiment, I just thought,
yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what? It should have been sacked. It should have been sacked straight away. It should have been sacked straight away.
Bennett's here.
It should have been sacked. It should have been. I bet he's not delivering with a smile on his face. It should have been sacked straight away and put Danny Ward and Watson in charge. I tell you what, Jackson Hastings would have gone, oh please, I could start running with the ball. I could start passing it. Honestly, absolute pathetic.
Oh dear. It's interesting times.